What if everything you've been told about reality is wrong? What if I told you you're not actually stuck? Not stuck in your job, not stuck in your city, not even stuck in your body, your habits, or your so-called destiny. What if the version of you living your dream life isn't in the far future, but already exists right now, just waiting for you to shift? This isn't science fiction, it's quantum reality. And once you understand how to quantum shift, everything, and I mean everything, can change instantly. If you've ever felt like you're meant for something more, like you're watching your life from behind a glass wall, this video is your signal, your wake-up call, because once you see how reality truly works, you'll never see life the same way again. Have you ever felt like your life doesn't quite fit? Like you're playing a role in someone else's story? Maybe it's the job that drains you, the relationships that feel hollow, or the routine that feels like a cage. That unease isn't your imagination, it's a wake-up call from your soul. It's a whisper that there's another version of you, freer, more alive, and aligned with a deeper purpose. This isn't a fantasy, it's a nudge from the universe, urging you to question the life you've been handed. We're taught to accept dissatisfaction as normal. From childhood, society gives us a script: study hard, get a stable job, follow the rules, and happiness will follow. But whose happiness? Too often, it's not ours. We mold ourselves to fit expectations, burying our true desires under layers of shoulds. We become strangers to ourselves, trapped in a loop of repetitive thoughts, habits, and outcomes. Yet that loop isn't who we are. It's a pattern born of fear and familiarity. The moment we pause and question it, everything shifts. This dissonance is a crack in the facade of your life. It might come as a quiet restlessness at your desk, or a sudden jolt during a mundane conversation. These moments aren't random, they re-invitations to listen. Your soul is signaling that you're out of sync with your true self. Ignoring it might quiet the feeling temporarily, but it will return louder each time until you act. The question is, how do you respond? Start by listening. Notice what lights you up. Maybe it's creating, helping others, or losing yourself in nature. These are clues to your purpose. And notice what drains you: the endless meetings, the toxic dynamics, the goals that no longer inspire. Journaling can help. Write without judgment, asking, what do I want more of? What do I want less of? Over time, patterns emerge, guiding you toward what feels right. Meditation works too. Just 5 minutes of stillness can reveal insights your busy mind overlooks. Breaking free from the loop takes courage, but it doesn't mean abandoning everything. Start small. Question your assumptions. Why do you stay in that job? Is it security or fear of the unknown? Why maintain certain relationships? Are they genuine or just comfortable? Experiment with change, a new hobby, a bold conversation, a boundary set. Redefine success on your terms. Is it freedom, impact, joy? Let this vision guide you. Embrace discomfort. It's where growth happens. Each small step builds momentum toward a life that feels like yours. Purpose is at the heart of this journey. It's not a single grand mission, but a way of living that feels meaningful. Reflect on what you've always loved, what makes time vanish. These threads lead to your purpose, revealed through action, not just thought. This path is also spiritual. You're more than your circumstances. You're a soul with a unique spark. Practices like gratitude or mindfulness connect you to this truth, reminding you that discomfort is part of a larger story. Obstacles will arise. Fear of failure can paralyze, but mistakes are just feedback. External pressures, family, friends, society may push back. Now, stay grounded in your truth. Self-doubt will whisper you're not enough. Counter it with evidence of your resilience. If overwhelm creeps in, focus on one area: work, relationships, health, and take one step. Small wins pave the way. As you align with your true self, life shifts. relationship deepen or fade, work feels purposeful, and challenges become opportunities. Your courage inspires others, creating a ripple effect. This isn't a one-time fix, it's a lifelong journey. New wake-up calls will come, urging you to shed old patterns and embrace new versions of yourself. Lean into them. The life that fits you isn't out there, it's within. Take the first step, and the path will unfold. Section 2. The science behind reality. It's not what you think. Reality, as we perceive it, is far from the fixed, concrete world we assume it to be. What if I told you that the solid ground beneath your feet, the chair you're sitting on, and even the screen you're reading this on, are not truly solid at all? Quantum physics, the study of the fundamental building blocks of the universe, reveals a startling truth. Everything around us is composed not of matter but of vibrating energy. These vibrations exist as waves of probability, fluctuating in a state of potential until the moment they are observed. In other words, reality is not an absolute truth but a filtered experience shaped by our attention. This concept, as abstract as it sounds, has profound implications for how we understand our role in shaping the world around us. At the heart of this idea is the principle of quantum superposition, which states that particles like electrons exist in multiple states or locations simultaneously until they are measured or observed. The famous double-slit experiment, a cornerstone of quantum physics, demonstrates this phenomenon vividly. When particles such as electrons are fired at a barrier with two slits, they behave like waves if unobserved, creating an interference pattern on the screen behind. But when scientists place a detector to observe which slit each particle passes through, the particles suddenly act like discrete, solid objects, and the interference pattern vanishes. This suggests that the mere act of observation collapses the wave function, the mathematical description of quantum states, into a single, defined outcome. In simpler terms, consciousness itself influences the behavior of matter. If this is true in the sterile environment of a laboratory, why wouldn't it apply to the messy, dynamic canvas of our daily lives? The implication is staggering. Your attention, your focused awareness, is not just a passive receiver of reality, but an active participant in its creation. Every moment you are collapsing infinite possibilities into the tangible experiences you call life. Think of reality as a cosmic menu of probabilities and your consciousness as the diner placing an order. What you choose to focus on determines what manifests. This isn't mystical speculation, it's a framework supported by cutting-edge science. But how does this translate to real-world experiences? Let's move from theory to practice. For years, I ran a side business that hovered on the brink of survival. It was a passion project. But no matter how hard I worked, it barely covered expenses. Clients were sporadic, and progress felt glacial. Then something shifted, not in the external world, but in my internal landscape. I began to believe truly and unshakably that this business could become my full-time career. This wasn't mere positive thinking. It was a complete alignment of my energy, actions, and intentions. I visualized success, made decisions as if the business were already thriving, and released the fear of failure. Almost imperceptibly at first, opportunities began to surface. A referral here, an unexpected partnership there. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, clients started reaching out in waves, individuals and organizations I'd never interacted with before, drawn to my work as if by magnetism. Revenue doubled, then tripled. Within months, what was once a side hustle became my primary livelihood. Was this a coincidence, luck, or was it a demonstration of quantum alignment, the principle that focused intention and energetic congruence collapse probability waves into tangible outcomes? The science suggests the latter. Just as particles respond to observation, the universe responds to the energy we emit. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you emit a coherent vibrational frequency, a signal that attracts matching frequencies. This is the essence of the law of attraction, but with a quantum twist. It's not just about wanting something, but about embodying the state of already having it. Your belief acts as the observer in your own life. A double-slit experiment, collapsing possibilities into reality. Skeptics might argue that correlation isn't causation, that my business turnaround could have been timing, market shifts, or sheer persistence. But quantum physics doesn't negate effort, it recontextualizes it. Action is still essential, but aligned. Action infused with purpose, and belief carries a different weight. It's the difference between pushing a boulder uphill and riding a wave. This understanding invites us to rethink our relationship with reality. If consciousness shapes matter, then our limitations are not dictated by external circumstances, but by the boundaries of our perception. Fear, doubt, and scarcity mindsets act like detectors in the double-slit experiment, collapsing waves into rigid, constrained outcomes. Conversely, curiosity, faith, and abundance mindsets keep the waves of possibility open, allowing serendipity and synchronicity to flourish. Imagine applying this to your own life. What if financial struggles, health challenges, or creative blocks are not fixed realities but fluid potentials waiting to be reshaped by your focus? This isn't about denying hardship, but recognizing that within every challenge lies a spectrum of possible resolutions, and your consciousness holds the power to navigate toward them. Of course, quantum principles don't grant omnipotence. You can't manifest a Ferrari by merely thinking about it while lounging on the couch. But when intention is paired with action, and belief is rooted in emotional and energetic alignment, the universe responds in kind. It's a dance between the observer and the observed, the creator and the creation. In the end, reality is a collaborative art project, one where science and spirituality converge. The atoms in your body, the stars in the sky, and the dreams in your mind are all threads in the same vibrating tapestry of energy. By embracing this truth, you step into your role not just as a bystander in life, but as its co-author. The question isn't what is reality, but what reality will you choose to create? Section 3, the lens of perception, how your beliefs shape your world. Imagine slipping on a pair of red-tinted glasses. Instantly, the world glows with warmth, sunlight feels richer, skies take on a rosy hue, even mundane objects radiate a cozy vibrancy. Now swap those for blue lenses. The same world cools into shades of cerulean and steel, as if the air itself has turned crisp and distant. Nothing about the external environment has changed, only the lens through which you view it. This metaphor captures the essence of how beliefs operate. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as you are. Your perceptions, reactions, and even the opportunities you recognize are filtered through an invisible framework of assumptions, memories, and ingrained narratives. For centuries, humanity operated under a Newtonian worldview, a paradigm rooted in predictability, linear cause and effect, and the idea that reality is a fixed machine. In this model, effort equals reward, push harder, work longer, and success will follow. While this mindset fueled industrial progress, it also bred rigidity. It assumes the universe is a clockwork system, indifferent to our inner states, where outcomes depend solely on external action. But quantum physics and the growing field of consciousness studies, it's a radically different picture. Here, reality is not a static stage, but a dynamic interplay of energy and observation. It's not about force, it's about frequency. Your beliefs and emotions don't just color your experience, they actively tune you to specific wavelengths of possibility, filtering what you perceive and even what manifests in your life. Consider this. Two people face the same setback, a job rejection. One, operating from a belief in scarcity, thinks, "I'll never succeed, the world is against me." The other, rooted in abundance, reflects, "This wasn't the right fit, something better is coming." Identical circumstances, divergent realities. The first person lens of fear narrows their vision, blinding them to new opportunities. The second's lens of trust keeps them open to serendipity. Over time, these perceptual filters compound. The scarcity-driven individual might spiral into stagnation, while the abundance-oriented person attracts growth, not because the universe favors them, but because their beliefs prime them to recognize and act on possibilities others miss. This isn't wishful thinking. Neuroscience confirms that beliefs physically rewire the brain. When you repeatedly focus on a thought or emotion, neural pathways strengthen, creating default patterns of perception, a process called neuroplasticity. For example, someone who believes money is hard to earn will subconsciously scan for evidence confirming this: bills, competition, obstacles. Their brain filters out opportunities for ease or collaboration, reinforcing the original belief. Conversely, someone who believes wealth flows naturally notices invitations, synergies, and creative solutions. Both live in the same objective world, yet inhabit entirely different subjective realities. Quantum thinking takes this further. If everything is energy vibrating at specific frequencies, your beliefs act like a radio tuner, locking onto stations that match your emotional and mental state. Fear vibrates at a low frequency, attracting experiences that resonate with lack or conflict. Gratitude, joy, and trust vibrate higher, aligning you with opportunities for expansion and connection. This isn't mystical, it's a matter of physics. Emotions emit measurable electromagnetic fields, and studies suggest these fields interact with the environment, influencing outcomes in ways we're only beginning to understand. A personal story illustrates this. For years, a friend of mine felt stuck in a corporate job he despised. He'd grown up believing stability was paramount, even if it meant sacrificing passion. His lens was calibrated to security, so he dismissed creative pursuits as unrealistic, but during a meditation retreat, a shift occurred. He began questioning his core belief: is safety truly the highest value, or is there a way to thrive without sacrificing joy? As he leaned into curiosity, his frequency shifted. He started noticing articles about entrepreneurship, struck up conversations with freelancers, and uncovered skills he'd never acknowledged. So within months, he launched a side hustle, blending his corporate expertise with his love for design. Clients emerged organically, and today he runs a thriving consultancy. Nothing about the external world had changed, only his lens. By altering his beliefs, he altered his reality. So, how do we consciously reshape this lens? It begins with awareness. Most beliefs operate subconsciously, inherited from childhood culture or past traumas. Start by interrogating your default narratives. Do I believe life is inherently hard? Do I feel worthy of abundance? Do I trust the universe to support me? Write them down. Then ask, are these beliefs true, or are they simply familiar? For example, the Newtonian mantra, "no pain, no gain," might feel true, but quantum thinking invites a subtle truth. Alignment, not grind, unlocks flow. Next, practice mental relancing. When faced with a challenge, consciously choose a belief that expands possibility. If you're navigating financial stress, replace "I'll never get ahead" with "Solutions exist, and I'm open to discovering them." This isn't denial, it's a strategic pivot toward frequencies of resourcefulness. Over time, these mental shifts rewire your brain, much like building a muscle. Importantly, beliefs must be embodied, not just intellectualized. Quantum alignment requires coherence between mind, heart, and action. If you declare "I am abundant," but cling to scarcity-driven behaviors, hoarding money, resisting generosity, your energy sends mixed signals. Instead, act as if your desired belief is already true. Invest in self-education, share resources freely, or visualize your goals with visceral emotion. This harmonizes your vibration with the reality you wish to create. Critics might argue this reduces complex life dynamics to simplistic positive thinking, but quantum perception isn't about ignoring hardship. It's about recognizing that within every challenge lies a spectrum of potential responses. Two people diagnosed with the same illness might walk vastly different paths. One defeated by despair, the other galvanized into researching treatments, adopting holistic practices, or finding purpose in advocacy. Their beliefs don't cure the disease, they shape the journey through it. Ultimately, the lens of perception is a tool of empowerment. If reality is a tapestry of vibrating potentials, your beliefs are the loom weaving threads into form. You are not a passive bystander to life, but an active artist, choosing which frequencies to amplify and which to release. The Newtonian model asks, "What should I do?" The quantum model asks, "Who do I choose to be?" As you ponder this, consider, what lens are you wearing today? Is it tinted with outdated stories of limitation, or is it calibrated to curiosity, courage, and trust? The world hasn't changed, but the moment you shift your perception, everything changes. Conclusion: you are not a witness, you are the architect. From the invisible vibrations of quantum fields to the belief systems that paint your world, from Roger Bannister's shattered limits to Jim Carrey's $10 million vision. One truth echoes unshakably. Reality is not a prison of circumstance, but a canvas woven by your attention, beliefs, and actions. You are not a bystander in your life. You are its director, scientist, and artist, all at once. The universe is not a cold, indifferent machine grinding along predetermined tracks. It is a symphony of energy waiting for you to play your unique note. Every thought is a vibration, every belief a lens, every action a stroke on the infinite timeline of possibility. Quantum science does not dismiss effort, it redefines how we effort. When you merge focused intention with aligned action, you step into your role as a co-creator, bending probability itself to your will. The stories of Bannister, Carrey, Tesla, and countless unsung visionaries prove this. Miracles are not exceptions to reality, they are invitations to reshape it. Your mind is not just a receiver of the world's signals, it is a broadcast tower, transmitting the frequency of your deepest truths. So ask yourself, what song am I humming into existence? Is it one of limitation or one of boundless potential? The lab of your life is always open. The tools are in your hands, your awareness, your imagination, your courage to act. The experiment is yours to run, and the results, they're not written in stone. They're written in stone. They're written in stardust, waiting for you to rearrange them. The question now is not what is possible, but what will you dare to make possible? The moment you decide, the universe leans in, whispers yes, and begins conspiring in your favor. Your reality is not a destination, it's a creation. Start creating.